Hello, my name is Mark, and today we're going to be going over some updates. This is an emergency video because there could be possible changes to the math portion of the IBEW math test. The IBEW Aptitude Test. Okay, so I was on Reddit. And per the UltElectriciansGuide, they posted the math portion of the IBEW Aptitude Test has changed. Here's what you need to know. So they just said that IBEW applicants have begun reporting noticeable changes to the Algebra and Functions sections of the Aptitude Test. What they said also was the structure of the test hasn't changed. So the test that you will be taking will have Algebra and Functions and the reading comprehension part. So 2 sections still. The math section will have 33 questions, 46 minutes total, and 1.4 minutes per question. Man, I can't stress this enough. You need to know how to do the easy questions fast because there are questions on there, like the graphing, that will take you many minutes. Much more than 1.4 minutes. The biggest shift is that problems now include more variables, more reasoning, and less traditional algebra formats. I don't know how to define less traditional algebra formats, but if you are familiar with the unofficial practice test I released, you'll know that on purpose, I did increase the difficulty on most of the problems. So I did add more variables and included more reasoning, so on and so forth. So here are some examples that they gave us. Okay, multivariable equations, multivariable factoring, complex multivariable polynomials, graphing quadratics, number series, variable relationships. They also give you a discount, 50% off for their $100 webinar, but your boy is going to give everything to you for free. Many people in the comments did say that they did see these type of problems. I don't know if they really did. Okay. I would take everything here with a grain of salt because even I was working through these problems. And like, for example, this problem right here, I don't think this is going to be on the test. My gosh, it's a monster. Okay, this is going to take way longer than 1.4 minutes. Okay, I'm sure that people making the test know that we have a very limited amount of time, and this takes a long time. Okay, and also, I'm looking at you, UltElectriciansGuide. This is formatted wrong. And I'll work it out with you. Okay. I don't know about this either because on the iPrep, we were trained to avoid answers that look like this because most likely we're going to encounter linear functions, not parabolas. These are called parabolas. This one's easy. This, I believe, is going to be on the test. I hate these. All these to me are hard, but we'll work through it. And I'll make sure that you will feel confident when you see these type of questions. I will be releasing another practice test, increasing the difficulty on all of the problems. So you will be prepared for your test. Yeah, a lot of people said here in the comments, like, looks like the problems on the test I took in February, looks like the problems I had last year. I don't know. You know, I applied to 2 of the most difficult locals, and that is 332 and 617 in the Bay Area. And they didn't have this. They didn't have these difficult questions, or at least this one right here. This one's just a monster. It's formatted wrong too, and I'll show you why. Also, they didn't have this right here, where we have a coefficient here, and we're going to have to square a binomial to figure this out. The most difficult, or the question I saw in relation to that type of question, was this one right here, factor the polynomial. where you have to you have to get two numbers that multiply to this when this number times this number equals this, and then those two numbers combined will equal B, which is 5. Okay, there's an extra step with what they've given us on Reddit, where we have to square the binomial. But enough of me talking. Let's just go ahead and work out these problems. Right now, we see that we have 3 variables. Okay, x equals 7, y equals 3, and z equals 2. K equals square root x plus y squared over 2z. Again, you're going to find out that this is formatted incorrectly. Okay, I'll show you why. I'm going to start using my favorite color. I've been using blue, and I want to use green. Okay, if k equals square root, we're just going to go ahead and substitute the variables in the equation. So this is 7 plus y squared. I'm going to just put this in parentheses just to separate it. 3, that's an ugly 3 squared, over 2, and then z is 2, right? If we work this out, this equals square root of 7. That's an ugly number, right? Square root of 7, I just want to separate it. Here, I'm just going to separate it. Equals square root 7. That's ugly. Why did they do that? Why is it formatted like that? That's ugly. Plus, okay, what is 3 squared? What is 3 times 3? That's 9, okay? Over 2 times 2 is 4. Now, why'd they do that? Why'd they do this? Why did the Ultimate Electrician's Guide give us this? That's ugly. I don't think anyone would be able to solve that really quick. And also, it's not part of the answer choices. It's really not. Square root of 7. I don't know what the square root of 7 is, but I'm not even going to try what the square root of 7 is. But if you just look at this problem, you're going to find out that it's going to be a fraction. And none of these answer choices are fractions. They're whole numbers. So this is how they probably meant to write the equation. Okay. I actually don't like green. I'm going to go with blue. Okay, so blue. Sorry, guys. This just frustrates me a little bit. So this is how they probably meant to write this equation. K equals square root everything x plus y squared over 2z. That's how they probably meant to write it. Like this. This is how they probably meant to write it. K equals square root of everything, x plus y squared. And when I mean everything, it's like this right here, okay? 2z, okay? And if we work the problem out, K equals square root. I hate how it's like, all right. I want to have a clear indicator or just have enough space for you guys to know that, you know, I'm rewriting the problem down below. Okay, x is 7 plus y squared. Y squared is 3 squared over, and then 2, okay? And then we go k equals square root 7 plus 9 over 4. And then equals, and I'm going to just continue up top. And then we have k equals square root 16, right? Because 7 plus 9 is 16 over 4. And then we have k equals, and I hope you were working out this problem faster than I was writing it down, but what is the square root of 16? That's an easy one. 4 over 4. What does that equal? Anything divided by itself, k equals 1. And that is answer choice B. This is formatted wrong. I can't believe the editors released this. It's disgusting to me. Okay? There you go. There you have it. There is the first example. And let's move on to the second one. And I want to just make sure that I wrote it correctly. Okay, so actually the second one is multivariable factoring. And let's go ahead and go to that slide. Right here, multivariable factoring. Okay, this requires a little bit of work. I did see this on the iPrep, but I did not see this on the test. Okay, you're gonna work out this problem, and I don't know what this is called, but you're gonna write it like this. You're gonna know that you're gonna identify some variables. So I'm gonna write the equation: AP squared minus B PQ minus CQ squared. I don't know what this is called. I think it's like this squaring binomial formula or something like that, but I don't know what this is called. But from this equation, in terms of P and Q, I'm just going to highlight these for you guys. A, B, and C, we have to identify A, B, and C, okay? That's the reason for this equation. So, A equals 5, B equals -8, C equals -4. Now, using the AC method, which is literally what it is, AC method is A times C. What is A times C? A times C equals 5 times -4, which equals -20. Now, what is -20? What two terms multiplied together equals -20 and also combined together equals -8, or B, right? Now we're going back to what we did here on this equation, right? Now we're there. You see how we just added an extra step? So what two numbers? The two numbers are -10 and 2. -10 and 2, right? -10 times 2 equals -20. -10 combined with +2 equals -8. Now we found the two numbers that we needed to get this, -20. So now we're going to have to write everything, the whole equation down like this. Okay, rewrite everything. So 5p squared minus, and what we're going to do is we're going to do something with this. -8pq. We're going to split this term. That's why we did this. Okay? So -10pq plus 2pq minus 4q squared. That is now our equation. And now we could just do some math, do some algebra to figure out how we got these, or one of these answer choices. So I'm actually going to rewrite everything up here so I have all the work for you guys to see. So what we did was we split this. Now we have to group them. Now we have to group these terms together. So we're going to group these two terms, and we're going to group these two terms. And you're going to rewrite it exactly like this. Parentheses 5p squared minus 10pq plus 2pq. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. Plus 2pq minus 4q squared. Okay? And then what we're going to do is we're going to find out the greatest common factor from each binomial. When you have one term, which is this right here, it's a monomial. When you have two terms, I said that right, it is a binomial. When it has 3 terms, it's a trinomial. 4 terms, polynomial. And then everything above that is just a polynomial, because poly means like many, I think. I don't know. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Those don't matter. Okay. I'm sorry that I got off track there. Okay. So now we're going to have to take out the greatest common factor for each term. So let me just start with the left side. The left side I'm going to highlight in yellow. Okay. So we have 5. Oh, I want room. 5p squared minus 10pq. Okay. That looks like a G. There we go. 5p squared minus 10pq. Okay, what could be taken out in terms of just the whole numbers, the numbers? So what could be taken out is a 5. So we could divide 5 from both sides, right? And I'm going to write everything down below so you know what's happening. So right here on this side of the binomial, you have two terms, 5 and p squared. So I'm going to have 2 underlines, 2 lines, and then minus, and then we have 3 terms over here. I don't know if they're called terms though, but I'm just going to call them terms. So we have 10p in the q, okay? And then also on this side, since they're on both sides on the binomial, this side has 2 terms, this side has 3 terms. I'm only going to write 2 terms on the outside, factoring out, because we can't take anything out from here because there is no q. So there's no term for us to factor out. So that's why we have 2 on the outside, 2 here for the 2 terms here, and then 3 here for the 3 terms here. The q is just going to stay in the equation that's in parentheses. Okay, so I took out a 5 because a 5 could be taken out from this 5 or divided out, and the 5 could be taken out from this side, divided out. So I'm going to just put a 1 right here. Okay, this is what's happening. I would not do this on the test. Okay, so, and then I would put a 5 right here. And then what could be taken out on both terms in regards to p? And over here, there's a p1 on this side, and there's a p squared on this side. So I'm going to divide both sides by p1 and take out a p1. So over here, I'm sorry, I didn't do this, but 10 divided by 5 is 2, so I'm going to put a 2 right here. And then p2 divided by p1. Remember, when you are dividing exponents, you minus the top numbers. So p2, p squared, the 2 minus 1 equals just a p, or p1, just so you guys could get it down in your head that that's what's happening. Again, I would not write this all out like what I'm doing. So I'm going to take out p1, okay? And then over here, p1 divided by p1, or p divided by p, is just 1, okay? And then there's no q here. There's a q here, so I'm going to just carry this q down here. So what's happening right now is it's 5p, and then in parentheses, we have 1 times p, and then 2 times 1 times q. So at the end of all this, after factoring everything out, we have 5p minus 2q. Perfect. Okay, we've factored this binomial. That's the left side is done. Okay, so I'm going to write this part right here just so we have it. 5p minus 2q. Okay, I'm going to erase everything, and we're going to do the other side. And I will highlight this one in green. And I want to highlight this one in yellow just to show that this is factored out from here. Okay, now we have 2pq minus 4q squared. Okay, so just from looking at this, do we notice that there is a missing variable on the right side of this binomial? Right? Just like we had a missing q on the left side right here. So let's just go ahead and figure out what we could take out. That's all that greatest common factor means, is what can we take out, right? So just from looking at it, I'm going to, again, put my little lines, 2, 3, because there's 3 terms in here, minus 1, 2, because there's only 2 terms here, okay? So what can we take out from both sides? And from here, just looking at it, we can take out a 2. Divide by 2, divide by 2, put the 2 over here. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 4 divided by 2 is 2. Okay, perfect. Now let's work in regards of p. P just carries down because there's nothing we could take out from both sides. So I'm going to just put the p over here. And now we could deal with the q's. What could be taken out from the q's? Just like the p's on the other side, we could take out 1q. Q1 divided by Q1 is just 1. And then Q2 divided by Q1 is Q1, right? Because 2 minus 1 equals 1. So now, let me just put the Q, I took out the Q, right? Yeah, Q right here, Q1, just so you guys know that that's Q1, it's actually written as a Q. Okay, I'm just doing that for the sake of the video. So at the end of everything, we have 2q in parentheses. What is 1 times p times 1? That is just p. And then what is 2 times q1? It's just 2q. Okay? Perfect. We've taken out the greatest common factor, which is 2q. And I'm going to just put this one, highlight it like this in green, because this is what we did over there. Okay, and I'm going to rewrite everything right here. So I'm going to show you the next step. Do you notice anything with what I've written down? I ask that because it is very important that you identify similarities. So from here you see that, or patterns. You see that this right here, p minus 2q, is the same as p minus 2q. Okay, the next step is to factor out the common binomial. Sounds complicated, doesn't it? All it means is, you see these two, they're the same. We just rewrite it to where it's just p minus 2q. But then we have to group these two. So then now we have 5p plus 2q. I believe I should not put a plus there. It should just be like this after I factor. So after I factor everything, you're just going to rewrite everything like this, like it's all multiplied by itself. And then you factor everything out. You factor out the binomial, which is this. Then you get p minus 2q, and then you get 5p plus 2q. Because these two are now going to be grouped together. So this is your answer. And that is answer choice D. That is how you do multivariable factoring. I believe I saw this on the iPrep on the difficult answers, but I don't remember. I remember learning this. I don't know if I remember learning this from the iPrep, but I remember learning this. Okay, I went all the way to Calculus 2 in college, and I just remember doing lots of this in either Algebra or Algebra 2. I'm not sure. Definitely just Algebra. Algebra 2 is, I think, more complicated. I think that's when you start doing vectors and stuff and tangents. I mean, that's geometry, but you touch on it in algebra too. Anyway, that's how you do it. Okay. Make sure you screenshot the way I did it, screenshot the answer choices, and figure out yourself before. I don't even know why I'm erasing it. Figure it out yourself before I start working out the problem. Okay. Next question. We have a monster actually. Complex multivariable polynomials. Okay. This one I found out has terrible formatting. Okay. And this is ugly. This is ugly because it's going to take forever. I don't believe they're going to have a question like this. It's just too long. It's way too long to do. Okay? I have a question here just like that. Maybe this? No, not that. But that one's just so... right here. No, that's not it. That's not it. But I mean, I like even this was increased difficulty. But man, that one that I'm about to do is going to take forever. Okay? Forever. And it's going to take a long time even more because I'm trying to explain it. But just doing it, right? I've done it like 3 or 4 times. But here's the whole problem. With a little bit of more right here. It's going to be a monster, dude. I'm going to be erasing a lot. So, okay, let's just go ahead and do it. Okay. So you have 9x squared plus 6, 4y minus x minus y squared this right here, and then square this again over here. Like, my gosh, that's annoying. And then you're going to find out that it's going to be bad formatting. Okay. Really bad formatting. So I'm going to do exactly this, what they have here. And if I make any mistakes, please let me know. But I've made all the mistakes already, and I did my best to solve the problem. And when I first solved it myself, I didn't get any of these questions or these answer choices. And then you'll find out when I make a small tweak on the equation that we will get one of the answer choices. But again, it's bad formatting. These guys released a bad question, example question, maybe to throw you guys off so you keep getting it wrong and then you buy their course. But I don't know. But let's just work through it. Okay. The first thing I would do here is work on this to get rid of these coefficients. The 9 and the 6. I would first divide the 3 by the 9 and the 6, right? So I'll show you what I mean. I'm going to rewrite just this portion of the equation. And actually, this part, so I don't have to write it all out, I'm just going to call it W. The 4y minus x minus y squared, I'm just going to call that W because I'm not about to write that whole part out just to show you this, okay? So we have 9x squared plus 6 in parentheses W over 3. Okay, let's get rid of this 3, right? What is 9? So writing everything out again, this actually looks like this. 9x squared over 3 and then plus 6w over 3. Okay? So what's happening is we're dividing 3 by both of these terms. So divide by 3 is just 3. Divide by 3, it's just 2. So now we have 3x squared plus 2w. Now we got rid of the 3. So let's go ahead and continue with this equation. What do we do next? What I would attack is this square right here. We're going to square a binomial. And to square a binomial, you need to know this equation. Okay, so you can, okay, what I've been teaching is you can do the FOIL method. You could do the FOIL method with this. But since we're squaring this, you could just square the binomial. And to square the binomial, you need to know this equation. It's a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. You need to know this. This is important. Take notes. This is the part where you're scribbling down notes. You need to know this. This is squaring a binomial. The binomial square formula. Write this down. I'm going to spend some time here. Write that down. I'm going to erase it. Or it's going to be erased soon. So from here, x plus y squared, this a equals x, right? Because in the binomial square, you need to know that it's a plus b, and then that it doesn't matter. That could be any number. A plus b squared. And then it translates to this equation here. And then given this part of the equation, or given this, we know that a equals x, and then b equals y squared. So b equals y squared. Okay? So now let's write all this inside this equation. We have, I'll put this in parentheses for the video, x squared plus 2x y squared plus y squared squared. It sounds so funny saying it. I just want to put it inside the white area. There you go. X squared plus 2xy squared plus y squared squared. Ridiculous. Ridiculous, right? Okay, so let's go work this problem out. I'll work just this part. So now, given this, let's just make it look nice. X squared plus 2xy squared plus y to the 4th power. Because y squared times y squared, oh my god, my nose itches. Y squared times y squared is just y to the 4th, right? Because y squared times y squared is just those 2 plus 2. That's all that's happening, equals y to the 4th, okay? That's all that's happening. Now you know. Now you know how to multiply those, okay? I can't stress that enough. That's basic algebra. So we have this part of the formula done, okay? Part of the W. And we're not done yet, okay? Because now let's write more of the W, which is the 4y, and the negative. This is where they throw people off. They put this negative there. So we worked out the binomial square, right? So now we're going to write everything out. 4y minus, I'm going to put everything in parentheses again, this right here, x squared plus 2xy squared plus y to the 4th. Oh, I'm sorry. I messed up, actually. I messed up. Oh my gosh. Okay. Ooh. See? X minus y squared. So, we got to go back, baby. We got to go back. The binomial square, again, formula, a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. Okay? I wrote this wrong. A equals x, and then b equals negative y squared. Oh my gosh. My bad, guys. That's totally my bad. Minus y squared. So let's write everything out again. X squared plus 2x negative y squared plus parentheses minus y squared squared. Okay? Rewriting everything out again nicely. Okay? X squared plus, and I'm going to rewrite it again, minus 2xy squared, because this negative y makes this whole thing negative. And then plus y to the 4th. And a negative times a negative equals a positive. Okay? The only thing that really changed is this part right here. So rewriting everything, minus 2xy squared plus y to the 4th. Okay. That's just that binomial square part. Now I'm going to add the y to y4, or y4, 4y. I'm going to add the 4y. 4y minus all this that we worked out right? And remember, when you have this negative here, treat it as a -1. Now we have to distribute this -1 to x squared, distribute this -1 to -2xy squared, and distribute this -1 to y to the 4th. So now we have everything written down is 4y, that looks like an x, 4y minus x squared plus 2xy squared minus y to the 4th. Okay? So now we figured out w, but we're not done yet. We are not done yet because the w, which is this is all w, has to be multiplied by 2. So we multiply 2 times all this. Okay, I'm going to erase all this up here and we will continue the problem. So now we have 8y. 2 times 4y is 8y. 2 times -x squared is -2x squared. 2 times 2xy squared, that is positive 4xy squared. And then we have 2 times -y to the 4th, that is 2y to the 4th. Okay, perfect. We figured out all this in here. All right, so we could rewrite this whole segment that I bracketed, right, as such. 3x squared, and this 3x squared is from here. And then plus 8y minus 2x squared plus 4xy squared minus 2y to the 4th. And then I'm going to add this right here, plus x plus 3y squared. Oh, oops. It's like this. Minus 5y, because we're going to square the binomial again. All right. So we have half of the problem, actually like 2/3 of the problem, complete. Now we have to square this. X plus 3y squared. And remember how to do the squaring a binomial, right? The formula, come on, you guys know it. A squared plus, oops, I don't even know it. Just kidding. A squared plus 2ab plus b squared. Okay? Now, let's add everything, or I'm going to indicate what these are. A equals x and b equals 3y. All right, now let's substitute these into this formula. I don't want to erase what I have here. Okay, I'm going to erase this. Okay, I hope I wrote everything right. Okay, it'll only work if I write everything right. Okay, so I'm going to write a squared, so x squared plus 2x and then 3y plus 3y squared. Okay, perfect. And that equals x squared plus 6xy plus, and I wrote this wrong. It's 3y squared. What is 3y squared? What is 3 times 3? It's 9 squared the 3. And then what's y squared? Yeah, all this part equals to is 3 times 3, which is 3 squared. 3 squared. Yeah, 3 squared. Confusing myself. 3 squared is 9. And then y times y is y squared. So this whole thing right here is 9y squared. So now we have x squared plus 6xy. Yep, 6xy plus 9y squared. So now we have everything. Now I'm going to just bracket this because I'm going to add this and substitute this for this. And let me just make it clear for you guys. I'm going to substitute this for this. Okay? So I'm going to erase everything now here, down here. And now we're going to write everything out. So we have, oh man, this is a monster, I'm telling you. 3x squared plus 8y minus 2x squared plus 4xy squared minus 2y to the fourth plus, I'm going to substitute everything out, x squared plus 6xy plus 9y squared minus 5y. Now, finally, after all of that, we could combine like terms. So let's go ahead and combine like terms. So 3x squared minus 2x squared and an x squared. Okay, so now we have 3x squared minus 2x squared plus x squared. That equals 2x squared. Okay, now what about this 8y? Can we do anything with this 8y? We can actually. 8y, and I'm going to actually cross these out so they won't confuse us. And then we have 8y, and we have minus 5y. 8y, oops, I want to use the same color. 8y minus 5y equals 3y. And I'm going to cross these out. And now we have, how about 4xy squared? That's just by itself. We notice all these now are their own terms and cannot be combined with anything else. So, writing everything out, we have, now I could erase everything here. This is the answer, and it's not going to be part of the answer choices. It's 2x squared plus 4xy squared. Okay, cross that out. Plus 6xy. Cross this out. Plus, or I'm not plus. Oh yeah, plus. Plus 9y squared. Plus 3y. Am I? Yes. Yes and yes. And then minus 2y to the fourth. Okay? This is the actual answer. And it's not part of the answer choices. Okay? What happened after working this out several times is this right here. This right here, I don't believe they meant to put the line over everything. Okay, what they meant to do was this. This is what they meant to do. What they meant to do was write the equation like this. And I'm just gonna substitute this for w again, writing everything out. 9x squared by itself plus 6w over 3 plus x plus 3y squared minus 5y. If we do the problem, okay, if we do the problem using this, we will get, I believe it's B. Let me see. 8x squared plus 4xy squared plus 6xy plus 9y squared plus 3y minus 2y to the fourth. Yes. So we will get B if we write the equation like this. And I don't want to do it. I'm like, my gosh, I don't want to do it. You should do it. You should do it. I dare you to do it. I dare you. I dare you to do it. Bad formatting, guys. Bad formatting on Ultimate Electrician's Guide. And you know what? Just because, for the sake of the video, I'll do it. I will do it. I will do it. But remember, this is the answer. 2x squared plus 4xy squared plus 6xy plus 9y squared plus 3y minus 2y to the fourth. We've been working at this for an hour now. Okay? And look at that. We've been working at this for an hour and probably so much longer or just a long time just for this complex multivariable polynomial when the test is supposed to be 33 minutes, right? Or 33 questions, 46 minutes, 1.4 minutes long. This question alone is going to take a long time. Much more than 2 minutes, much more than 3 minutes. And I can't stress this enough. I don't think this is going to be on the test. And especially they're not going to give you it like this where they have terrible formatting. So let's just do it, okay? I'm going to go ahead and go 9x squared, okay? Plus all this. All this has now become w, okay? All this now has become w plus x plus 3y squared minus 5y. Okay, that's the equation now. So let's go figure out what w is. And to figure out what w is, we're going to have to do the square again. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and do this quickly. Okay, a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. Okay, a equals x, b equals negative y squared. I kind of regret erasing everything because we could have just had this part. Okay, a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. So I'm going to go x squared plus 2x y negative y squared plus negative y squared squared. So we have x squared plus negative 2xy squared plus y to the fourth, x squared minus 2xy squared plus y to the fourth. Okay, we figured out this part. Now let's go rewrite everything again. I guess this is just extra practice for you guys. So now we have 4y minus x squared minus 2xy squared plus y to the fourth. Okay. Now we have 4. Sorry, this looks like a 4. 4y minus x squared plus 2xy squared minus y to the fourth. And then we have to divide the 3. I didn't do that. I didn't show that, but I'll write it down for you guys. So in parentheses or in brackets, we're going to have 2 times all this. Okay, 4y minus x squared plus 2xy squared minus y to the fourth. That 2 came from 6 divided by 3. So then just multiply the 2 by each term. We have 8y minus 2x squared plus 4xy squared minus 2y to the fourth. So now we completed all this now. So again, this is actually easier if they formatted it correctly, but they formatted it wrong. Okay, so now we could just go like this, plus 9x squared, and just add everything on just for visuals, plus x plus 3y squared minus 5y. Now we have to figure out this binomial by squaring it. And we know how to do that, right? Let's just work it out so you get extra practice. So a squared plus 2ab plus b squared or a equals x, b equals 3y. And then you have x squared plus 2 x 3y plus 3y squared equals x squared plus 6xy plus 9y squared. Add all this and replace it with this. I'm going to highlight it for you guys. Okay. So now we have the whole equation down. 9x squared plus 8y minus 2x squared plus 4xy minus 2y to the fourth plus x squared plus 6xy, and this is y to the squared. I didn't do that, sorry. Plus 9y to the squared, squared to the squared, 9y squared, minus 5y. Now we add like terms. So 9x squared, and then minus 2x squared plus x squared equals 8x squared. I'm going to cross these out. And then 4x squared could just be left alone. But what else can we do? We could do 8y minus 5y equals 3y. And I think everything else can't be combined together. So we just rewrite everything down. So our final equation is 8x squared plus 4xy squared plus 6xy, and I'll cross everything out as I write it. Okay, I need to cross those out. Plus 6xy plus 9y squared plus 3y, and then minus 2y to the fourth. Minus 2y to the fourth. Sorry, I wrote it down there, but you get it. You get what I mean. There you go. And that equals B. So again, I just proved bad formatting on Ultimate Electrician's Guide. Okay? Sucks to suck. Next question. Graphing quadratics. Now this one, my gosh, I've been filming for an hour. Okay, graphing quadratics. Which equation is equivalent to this graph? So, this is something you should know. When you have something like this in a parabola, this equals positive. When you have something like this equals negative. And that looks like a V. I don't want it to look like a V. I want it to look like a really narrow hill. Okay, you guys get it, right? So, from the answer choices here, we know that this is negative and it's not positive, so we can go ahead and get rid of this. Yay! Hooray! Now, the next thing we're going to do is find the y-intercept when x equals 0. So, if we put 0 in each term, right, it's just going to make each term 0 except for this number here, right? So, given that the x, or given that the y-intercept is when x equals 0, we have a plus 3, we have a negative 3, and we have a plus 3. Just looking at this graph, we know it's on the positive side. So we can get rid of C. Okay? Next thing we're going to do is we have to figure out the vertex. Okay? The vertex is in, I think it's in mathematical form or mathematical terms. The vertex is the point, the highest point or the lowest point. So the highest point for negative, right? So the highest point and then the lowest point for positive. And to find the vertex, we need this equation. X equals negative B over 2A. So let's go ahead and grab this equation. So A would be negative 2 and B would be negative 6. We don't need this, which is C. We don't need it. So let's go ahead and plug it in. X equals negative 6 over 2 negative 2 equals 6 over negative 4, which equals, it's going to be an ugly number, 3 over 2, right? Because all I did was divide by 2, negative 3 over 2, which you should know equals negative 1.5. X equals 1.5. And then if you just look at this graph, X equals 1.5, it's just right here, right? Or this is where the vertex is at, actually. It looks like negative 1. Negative 1.5 would be like right here. And it doesn't cross here, or it doesn't go here. So from looking at A, you're like, I don't know. I don't think so. We could put the negative 1.5, the X, to find Y. But let's just keep using this formula, X equals negative B over 2A, for the next one, to just rule it out, to be like, okay, for sure it's going to be this one. Okay? So X equals negative 4 over 2 negative 2. X equals 4 over negative 4. And then we get X equals negative 1. So we, just like I mentioned before, the negative 1 right here, and then we have a 5, I believe. Yep, a 5. And this looks mostly correct. I would choose D. But for the sake of the video, let's check it. Okay? Let's check it. Let's really double check it and make sure that the vertex is located at negative 1 and then y equaling 5. Let's just check. So let's grab the whole equation. Y equals negative 2, negative 1 squared minus 4, negative 1 plus 3. We're going to get equals negative 2, 1 minus, it's actually positive 4 plus 3 equals negative 2 plus 4 plus 3 equals, what is negative 2 plus 4? That's positive 2 plus 3 equals 5. So our point on the graph, or our vertex, is, and I'm going to write it in orange, it's in X and Y terms, and it's going to be negative 1, 5. And that looks like it's on the graph right there. So again, D is the answer. So what I did here was, let's check if the parabola opens up as a U or an upside down U, right? If it opens up like this, it's positive. The coefficient is positive. It must be positive. That's what I'm looking at. If it opens up like this, it's negative. Okay? Next thing I would do is find the y-intercept. Make all x's 0. And then you will find the y-intercept. And then I would find the vertex, which, to find the vertex, you need the equation x equals negative b over 2a. And from there, I would test every equation that I have left, and then find the vertex, match the vertex or match the equation with the graph. Boom, you got your answer. All right, next question. Number series, right? This is the next one, right? Yeah, number series. Okay, this one's easy. I just glanced over it right now, and I hope you found out the pattern, because I want to move on. I've been recording for an hour. 3, 8, 11, 19, 30, 49. This is actually one of the easier ones, okay? What I would do normally is find the difference between the numbers, right? I would rewrite it like 3, oops, change my color. I would write it like 3, 8, 11, 19, 30, and I'm not going to write 49, right? I would be like, oh, okay, 3 to 8 plus 5, 8 to 11 plus 3, 11 to 19 plus 8. I would do something like that, right? But then that wouldn't work, because I would already identify what's going on, which is this is what's going on. All right. And I don't even need to write everything down. 3 plus 8 equals 11. 8 plus 11 equals 19. That's what's happening. There's your pattern. 11 plus 19 equals 30. And lastly, 30 plus 49, and I'll write that in orange, 30 plus 49 equals 79. Boom, guys. You got this. Okay? That's actually easy. What I have on my unofficial practice tests are actually pretty hard. Okay? These ones that I have on my practice tests, which I will have a link in the description, these ones are actually hard. And also the people who have been practicing my tests have said that they passed their tests using my tests. So it is working, somewhat working. Okay. I don't want to say that it's a one-to-one match, but my test does give you a foundation for the math portion. It's going to arm you. It's going to make you ready and make you feel confident. So let's go ahead and move on to the last question that they gave us. 0 equals 5a over b minus 3 minus c, where b is greater than, okay, these signs you have to know, than 3 and held constant. What happens to c as a increases, okay? So I hate these questions. These are my kryptonite, okay? Words ugly to me, okay? But it's okay, because what we don't like, we must practice double on and get better at it until we like it. Okay? Like, for example, I have a phobia of spiders, and my wife wanted to get tarantulas, so I myself bought tarantulas. Anyway, sorry, tangent. B is greater than 3. So what I want you guys to know is this equals greater than. Okay? This with a line underneath equals, or is it a line on top? No, it's a line at the bottom. Is greater than or equal to. And vice versa, this is less than. And this is less than or equal to. You must learn this. You must know this. Okay? Please, please, please screenshot this. For the love of everything. Screenshot that. Please. Please, 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 please. Thank you. Okay. Okay, sorry. A little hyper there. Oh, hope you screenshotted that, because now I am erasing it. Everything is gone. Goodbye, kapoots. Let's just use what we know. Okay? B is greater than 3 and held constant. Held constant is so important. What does held constant means? It stays the same all throughout. So B must be greater than 3, and it's held constant. So for example, I choose 4 in this equation, and I'm always going to keep it 4 no matter what. Okay, what happens to C? What happens to C as A increases? Okay, I'm going to circle this 4 because we're going to come back to it. So I have to put everything in terms of C. You see how it's like minus C over here? So I'm going to move that C over. So the equation writes like this: 0 equals 5a over b minus 3 minus c. I'm going to add c to both sides. We have to put this in terms of c because that's what the question is asking. C equals 5a over b minus 3. I wrote that a ugly. Okay. C equals 5a over b minus 3. Again, This 4, right? I'm going to put it and replace it for B. And before I do that, I want to also isolate this A. Okay? And when I mean isolate, just take it away, because you can also, it'll look better when we write down this problem and work out the equation, right? So I'm going to go C equals 5 over B minus 3 times A, because all this is 5A over B minus 3 is A times 5, and then 5, the A goes on top or multiplies by 5, and then B minus 3. So all I did was take out that A and put it over here, so it looks better for us. It visually looks better, but it's the same problem. Okay, so again, this 4, I'm going to replace it with B, because B could be any number greater than 3 as long as it's held constant. Okay, in this equation. So let's just write it down. C equals, and see what happens. C equals 5 over 4 minus 3 times A, right? Let me write that nicely. Okay, and then next, we just do the equation. C equals 5. What's 4 minus 3 is 1 times A. And then now our equation writes C equals 5, because 5 divided by 1 equals 5 times A. So I'm going to set A to like 1, right? A equals 1. C equals 5 times 1. C equals 5. Okay? What's happening here? You won't know yet, but just know that I made A equals 1, and then when I got C, it equals 5. Now let's keep going and keep adding, or not adding, but substituting A with a higher number. Let's say A equals 2. Okay? When A equals 1, C equals 5. And I'm going to write this in a different color. It's going to make sense when I write it in a different color. Okay? When A equals 2, C equals what? So let's go write it down. C equals 5 times 2. C equals 10. Okay? Do we see what's happening here? I'll do it one more time. A equals 3, then C equals what? C equals 5 times 3. C equals 15. What's happening is as A increases, C also increases. Okay, that's what's happening here. That's all that's happening. And this looks ugly, right? This fraction part. But since we took out the A from it, this part just stays constant. This 5 just stays constant because we chose 4. We chose the number 4 for B. And in the rules here, it says where B is greater than 3 and held constant. That's what the most important part is. It's held constant. So this never changes after I choose a number greater than 3. All we have to do is change our A. And just looking at these answer choices here, if A increases, then C increases, which is our answer. But let's just disprove the other answer choices. If A increases, then C decreases. If A increases, so just given what we did, if A increases, then C decreases. That, in fact, is wrong. We see that C is increasing, so we could just take that out. If A increases, okay, 1, 2, 3. If A increases, then C remains constant. Also incorrect, we saw that C increases. It goes up, okay? Just for the sake of this problem, I will choose A equals 4. C equals 5 times 4. C equals 20. Okay? Do you see what's going on here? It increased. So it does not remain constant. We could take that out of our answer choices. We disproved C. If A changes, then C remains unaffected. that's just a fancier way to say C. If A changes, so it could be less than, we could choose lesser numbers. We could have just chose 3 and then went down, or just went up or down. It doesn't matter. C remains unaffected. No, C changes as A increases or decreases. So we disprove D. So again, A is your answer here. So that concludes all the example questions from the Reddit posts from the Ultimate Electricians Guide. Okay, I do like how they mention that these stay the same. Okay, the 33 questions, 46 minutes total, and 1.4 minutes per question, because I can't stress that enough, guys. You don't have enough time to do any of these questions, and you have to know how to do all the questions fast. And the technique here is to do the fast questions even faster, or the easy questions fast. You have to do them fast, okay? They won't have problems like this where the 7, you square a 7, that's just ugly, okay? They won't do that to you guys. I hope not, okay? I hope they won't do that, because it won't make sense when there's no fractions here and you have a fraction here. It won't make sense, okay? Multivariable factoring, okay? We know how to do this, and it's just like regular factoring with an extra step. Okay, complex multivariable polynomials, I don't believe they're going to have a monster like this on the test. If they do, let me know, and I guess we'll just go over problems like this, because this to me is an easy problem and you need to do this fast. And I don't believe you're going to be able to do this fast with 2 binomials you have to square. And also, again, this problem had bad factoring, or bad formatting, which, like, this is misleading, okay? 9x squared plus 6, 4y minus x minus y squared over 3. This, to me, looks like everything is over 3. But what they meant to put is 9x squared plus, and then this stuff over 3 only to get B, okay? Bad part on you, Ultimate Electrician's Guide. Graphing the quadratic, man, I only took the test last year in October 2025, and we were taught on the iPrep that there would not be parabolas. But this is a whole new thing. I hope I taught you well. The first thing I would do is figure out if it's positive or a negative parabola. Then I would find the y-intercept, and then I would find the vertex, negative b over 2a. Okay? Number series, there's just no easy way for me to really teach this. Just find the difference between the numbers and then solve accordingly. Okay, with this one, it was kind of easy because it was easy to identify the pattern, because 3 plus 8 equals 11, 8 plus 11 equals 19, 11, 19, 30, so on and so forth. This one was easy. This will be on the test, for sure. This will be on the test. I'm not sure if they're going to have a fraction like this, but hey, man, I think they're going to have this on the test. This one was kind of easier to understand, and mainly because I have been practicing these. These are my weak point, and you just got to identify what you have and really pay attention to the question that they're asking, and then just do process of elimination after you've kind of worked around and played with the variables. What happens to C as A increases? So again, put everything in terms of C and then solve and then figure out the problem. My goal, guys, is for you guys to pay $0 for the aptitude tests, or to prepare you for the aptitude tests. I'm not saying, okay, I am not saying that these are bad, that these aptitude test prep courses are bad. They are not bad. They are very good for you guys to build a foundation. But dude, it's $100. Like, are you kidding me, guys? That's a lot of money to relearn everything. And especially for you guys that are just starting out, fresh out of high school, maybe in college, $100 is a lot of money. Okay, I think the iPrep was only $50, but even then, like, I guess it's about investing in yourself. But even then, all this stuff is on YouTube, and I'm just here to condense it all and to regurgitate what I see, what I've seen, and to teach it to you guys. Okay, for free. This is what YouTube was meant for. If you have any questions, please let me know. Please email me. I left my Discord link down below in the description, as well as my email address. You could email me, DM me for other questions, for any help, for any tutoring. If I got anything wrong, please put it in the comments below so we could work the problem out. Because again, I'm not 100% always on my videos and on my problems. So together, we must come together to help each other pass the tests. That's it, guys. That's it for the rant. Marky at Baby out. I will see you guys on the next video. Bye.